All right, Ag Mechanics, it's Monday, October the 5th. Today we did our first section of the Power Tools slides and outline. When you click on that, you have an outline to complete on this. Tomorrow we're going to do some ID stuff. Today what we wanted to focus on was just to get done with the notes so we didn't have to worry about them anymore. So just running through some of these real quick. The circular saw makes straight cuts. A miter saw is a compound miter saw. It makes angled cuts. A radial arm saw, the biggest thing about the radial arm saw is that the material doesn't move. The actual saw pushes through the material itself. So there's our radial arm saw. All right, our wood stays here. You will pull that saw back and then push it through the material that you're cutting. A band saw was kind of like the coping saw. It's the power version of our coping saw. It has an extremely thin blade on it. It's stationary, and you would move the wood to do your curves. The jigsaw works similar to the bandsaw in the sense that the jigsaw is mobile, all right? It's portable. So where the bandsaw is a stationary piece of equipment, you can take a jigsaw with you wherever you go. That's what a jigsaw looks like, right? Chances are you've probably used this before. Table saw. We can use a table saw to do lots of different things. You can cross cut, you can rip, you can dado, and you can miter. So it gives you a lot of different advantages with the table saw. A reciprocating saw is also known as a sawzall. This is the power tool version of the compass saw. That's what a sawzall looks like. That is your actual guide. You want to make sure that you have that guide up against the material that you're cutting, so that way it doesn't slip off and your blade doesn't break. The power hacksaw is a stationary power tool. The hacksaw moves back and forth just like a regular hacksaw would. And then the metal cutting bandsaw. We have one of these in the shop. Basically on the metal cutting bandsaw is you have two rollers on the inside, and this is just one blade. So when you set this down on your material, the blade just constantly spins round and round. Okay, and that's what it looks like close up. As you can see the guide. Another way you can cut your metal is by using an abrasive cutoff saw. All right, an abrasive cutoff saw. So an abrasive cutoff saw is going to do just that. Right, it looks like a giant grinder that cuts your metal. We also have a router. A router is going to make designs in wood, make dado cuts and rabbet cuts. Notice the E in rabbet cuts. You want to make sure you notice the E. When you spell this, right, we're not cutting up rabbits, as in the thing with bunnies. We're making a rabbet cut, okay? And a rabbet cut is where you cut the notch out of an end of a board. You can do it with the table saw, all right? And by making that overlap right there, what you can do is join two pieces of wood, put a little glue down, nail it together, and then that's going to give you a really nice tight fit. A portable drill is going to drill holes. Notice how you want to make sure your wood is clamped or in a vise. A drill press is stationary. It's going to be more accurate. And then we determine the size of a drill by the chuck size, okay, by the chuck size. So if you can fit a 1/4 inch in here, and then you have a 1/4 inch drill. If you can fit a 1/2 inch bit in there, then you have a 1/2 inch drill. That's how you measure drills. A hammer drill we use in masonry. A planer is going to smooth lumber down to a thickness. So if this piece of wood was 1 inch, but you needed it at a 1/2 inch, then you will run it through this planer and you would thin it down. Whereas a joiner is going to do the edge of your boards. Okay, the joiner is going to do the edge of your board. A sander is going to smooth wood. A grinder shapes and smooth metals. If you're using a bench grinder, you want your tool rest to almost look like it's touching your grinding wheel. What this does is prevent the material from lodging down in there and ripping back and coming out at you. We'll go over some safety stuff on that in our future units. A nail gun is used to drive nails. So those are the tools that we talked about today. And then we want to go ahead and finish this outline up today. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about some power tool identification, Don't plan on doing a whole lot of notes tomorrow. It's going to be more IDs similar to hand tools. So if you have any questions, let me know.